Blog Talk Radio.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Long Beach Joe Show. We are here to talk Jets, and boy, oh boy, do we have a matchup coming. We're going to be facing the Niners this game coming up, and the Jets are a bit banged up, I'll tell you right now, but the Niners are also dealing with some injuries too. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of things going on with this team right now. A lot of people are down on it because of the issues that we've had, particularly offensively. A lot of people screaming for Adam Gase to get up out of here. There's a lot of people absolutely just on his top, on his head in this game because this offense has looked so bad, particularly at the starting of, against the Bills. So we're just hoping that this game, it won't carry into the same thing and things will change. So I'm going to go ahead and get it started. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I am here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go to Facebook, type in Long Beach Joe. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back, all right? I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. You can also leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think. I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. So without further ado, folks, I'm ready to get into the show, okay? I am fired up, all right? I'm fired up, and I'm fired up because I'm trying to see what's going to happen next, okay? I want to start with this Jets offense first. I know we got callers coming up. The lines are blazing. I'm going to get to you folks in a second, but I got some questions, and I got some questions about this Jets offense. The first thing I'm wondering is, I understand that we're a little bit banged up. I know that Le'Veon Bell is not going to be playing. He's dealing with his injury. He's going to be gone for some weeks. Mims is dealing with an injury. We know he's gone for some weeks. But tell you what, Crowder and his injury, that really punched us right in the stomach because we thought, hey, at least if we didn't have, those other two guys, Crowder was the guy that, had 100-plus yards against the Bills. Maybe he's the guy that can just stand in there and give Sam something. Now, without Crowder, because he's not going to be playing against the Niners, you're looking at the offense starting is going to be Perryman, Hogan, Herndon, Gore, and Balazs. That stinks, folks. That completely stinks, and we all know it. I mean, it's not a good situation to put Sam in. It's a bad look. I mean, come on, folks. I know they stink. I get it. But we gotta work with. All right. I mean, it is what it is. So I get it. All right, you ain't gotta keep booing. I understand. But the situation here that we're looking at is Adam Gase has got to find a way to utilize the guys that he has available to him. Point blank. Period. Because, again, yes, we're dealing with injuries, but other teams deal with injuries around the league. We've seen it. We've seen the Eagles deal with injuries. And what did the head coach there do? He made adjustments. And this is going to be the ultimate adjustment-making test for Adam Gase. He's got guys in there that he could utilize. Herndon, I think, is one of those guys that he could utilize to really take a step forward. I'm looking at Herndon with no weapons, going out there. He should be a guy that should absolutely get a lot of targets in this game. I'm also looking to see if Adam Gase goes into maybe a two tight end set. Why not put Herndon and Griffin on the field at the exact same time? Why not do that? Why not help these guys out? And also, as well, I want to see how Adam Gase plans against this Niners pass rush because, yes, D Ford's not going to be playing because, again, the Niners are dealing with some injuries. D Ford is out. But you still got Bosa, you still got Armstead. They still got guys that can absolutely get after it. So you have to be there, and you have to make sure that things are together, man. Because if you don't make sure that the offensive game plan is put together, if you don't call better plays than you called in the first game against the Bills, if you don't figure out a tempo, Adam, okay? Listen, quick tempo will work, especially we saw it work against the Bills, okay? If you got a team that's deficient in talent and you got another team that's coming out with a phenomenal defense that has a lot of pass rush that can pin their ears back, start hitting these guys when they don't expect it. Start putting these guys on their heels. Try to make them figure things out. Speed up the tempo. These are all things that we could absolutely do. So I'm looking to see what Adam Gase does in this game. I'm looking to see more potency out the offense. I need to see the offense step up. I also need to see this team come out with some sense of urgency. You can't come out and be lethargic. Don't come out and sleepwalk against the Niners. That's not going to work. You come out slow against the Niners. You don't have this team prepared and ready, Gase, and I'm telling you, they're going to blow your doors off with no excuses. They'll put you away early. It doesn't matter where we're playing. They come and they handle business. This is a big-time team. So with all that said, I want to get to the callers real quick because I could go on and on and on about this. You know what I'm saying? So if anyone is watching, wherever you're watching from, again, I know some people are watching or listening, from the Blog Talk Radio, but if you're listening to the stream, listen, 515-602-9639. Please call in. Again, 515-602-9639. Call in and talk to us about the Jets. I absolutely cannot wait to hear everyone's opinion about this football team and what we got going. So now I'm going to go to my first caller. I know there's a lot of callers on the line. We'll get to you in a second. First caller, 908. State your name and your thoughts about this upcoming game against the Niners.
Joe, it's Steve. What's up, man?
Yo, what's going on, Steve? How's everything going?
I'm doing good, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm all right, bro. Listen, let's get it started. How are you feeling about the Jets going into this game against the Niners?
Oh, boy. Okay, where do I need to start? Okay, well, Adam Gase definitely has to find a way to coach this offense to a much better game. I mean, unfortunately, we don't have Jamison Crowder tomorrow. We have Rashard Perriman. We have Braxton Berrios. We have Kalen Ballage, Frank Gore, Josh Malone, and Josh Adams, who got put back up from the practice squad. Oh, yeah. Man, Joe. I mean, here is the thing. I understand that this is definitely going to be now a much tougher matchup. I mean, I would have felt more confident going into this game if Crowder was going to be playing. But now that Crowder is hurt now and not going to play tomorrow, that does unfortunately worry about me against the offense, against the 49ers defense. And especially the thing about what the strength is about the 49ers defense is their front seven. I mean, when you got guys on their front seven like Bosa and Armstead and the rookie they picked up that replaced DeForest Buckner, it is still a tough line to go up against. Now, listen, the thing is that, with San Francisco is this. Honestly, I'm kind of worried more in this game about San Francisco's defense than their offense because, listen, their offense is really banged up right now. I mean, the only really big playmaker that the 49ers, as of right now, really have on their offense right now going into this game tomorrow is Raheem Mostert, their running back, and even their fullback is good in Kyle Juszczyk. But Joe, now I want your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on Jimmy Garoppolo? What do you think of him as a quarterback?
Well, first off, I want to thank you for calling in, Steve. Listen, I think Jimmy's a solid guy. I think, this Niners offense, and I understand some people are looking at, yes, they're missing guys. We know that Deebo Samuel is not going to be playing. Brandon Ayuk is dealing with a hamstring injury. The big tight end, George Kittle, he's out. So Kittle's out. So that kind of, relieves the pressure a little bit there. But they still got guys that can move, man. Mostert, their running back. They still have Coleman as well. Tevin Coleman, who's a versatile back, who's a guy that can catch the ball out the backfield. And, boy, is he fast. That guy can move. So I'm still worried about this offense, particularly when our offense as well is not producing, hasn't looked good so far. So I'm very worried still about their offense as far as giving their offense so much time because if you look at the Bills dominated the time of possession in the last game. Dominated it.
Yeah,
so
that is something.
Yeah.
That is something that we can't have the other team. We can't have San Francisco tomorrow have winning time possession over us because the thing was, last Sunday when we played in Buffalo, that was something that Buffalo completely dominated against us. And now, it's just, listen, the things, though, that are going to be edgy things for San Francisco going into this game is that, listen, San Francisco is a team that has to come all the way from California, come to New Jersey to play us, for our first home game. And, that is an affection that could be an advantage for the Jets, is that San Francisco has to play in our time zone. And, the thing is that, though, with San Francisco coming into our time zone, it depends, though, on this. Listen, Kyle Shanahan, at times, there are times where he's made a lot of bad coaching decisions as a coach. Listen, because, especially if you remember from that Super Bowl when he was the offensive coordinator from the Super Bowl with the Falcons, how he totally messed that whole thing up. But the thing is, with San Francisco is that, listen, yes, they are a team coming in with banged-up injuries, but the thing is, what you got to remember about this team, this is the defending NFC champions. Last year they were a 13-3 team last year, and, listen, they still have some good playmakers on their team that are still healthy. Most of their best playmakers are obviously out. So, the thing is that, and the other thing that's got to happen is that Sam needs to have a better game than he did against Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what, Steve, and I hear what you're saying about, Shanahan, and some people, kind of say, yeah, he's had some spotty decision-making, but I'll tell you who's made worse decisions. Adam Gase. And when you look at the situation, I'm very worried, Steve. Hold on a second, Steve. I am very worried about Gase going into this game. I know the seat is extremely hot under him. People are absolutely getting after him, from, people that are on, national TV, on various sports television networks, to just fans cannot stand the way he's called games, the way he's handled things. So I'm looking at you, Steve, and I'm asking you, hey, do you think that this is a game where we'll see Adam Gase make adjustments? Because I think that's been one of the biggest issues with him since he's came here, or hell, since he's been in the league, even before he came here, was his lack of adjustments. And we saw that was glaring last week. Do you think, with the injuries that we've had offensively, that he'll make adjustments to his scheme so that he can help Sam Darnold out the way that we believe he should be?
To be honest, Joe, I honestly have no idea what is going to happen tomorrow. I got to tell you, I don't know what is going to happen. Because the thing is, there will be at times when Adam Gase will make these coaching decisions, and he'll be like, okay, oh my God, like, why is he making this play? Why is he making this play? No, listen, throughout the whole entire week, this week has been such a tough week, after that horrible loss we had, everybody on ESPN and Twitter and all that stuff is all roasting Gase for this. It's like, listen, I understand Coach Gase called a bad game, but at the same time, it's like, oh my God, it's like, listen, I don't like Coach Gase either. And listen, it's just that this, I think, hopefully, with all this nonsense that happened during the week, he has to realize that this has to be a wake-up call for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. How concerned are you about this team? We saw the penalties be a big factor against the Bills. Are you concerned about them being heavily penalized in this upcoming game as well against the Niners?
It honestly could happen. Listen, San Francisco last week did not really play their best game. Because last week they did struggle very, very badly and poorly in their home opener against the Arizona Cardinals. I was watching their game. Listen, I think the advantage is about going into this game is these are the keys to the victory. Sam Darnold in this game he's got to make smart decisions. He's going up against a very inexperienced secondary because, listen, there's no Richard Sherman tomorrow because he was put on IR this past week. There's no Richard Sherman for the 49ers, so that's something that helps. I think they're without another starting corner. I forgot what his name is. That's the first thing. The second thing is, Mekhi Becton or George Fant, whoever is going to be the ones. Listen, I know everybody, Jet fans, gave a hard time to George Fant when he was first signed here. I actually thought George Fant in his first game as a Jet, I thought he actually played really well in his first game. But, George Fant and Mekhi Becton are definitely going to have a big test coming up, going up against one of the best pass rushers in football in Nick Bosa. That's the other thing you got to do. You can't let the 49er defensive line put some pressure on Sam because if they try to get after Sam could be in for a long day. But if they could protect well against Sam then that will be a key. I mean, obviously, listen, one positive thing that is a possible tomorrow is that LaMichael Pirine could be making his Jets debut tomorrow. So hopefully that will help out with the Jets running game. But the thing is then for the defensive side of the ball, they gotta put the pressure on Garoppolo. Because if you make Garoppolo uncomfortable, and especially with some of these unknown players, I mean, even though recently this past week, San Francisco did sign Mohamed Sanu recently because obviously they needed help with their wide receiver position, especially with Deebo Samuel on the IR for them. You got to put the pressure on Garoppolo because if you make Garoppolo uncomfortable tomorrow, there's a good chance tomorrow.
Yeah, and, Steve, you're bringing the fire right now, man. Let me tell you something. I look at the situation kind of the same way you do. That's why I feel your take a lot. I look at it, and you brought up a great point, and I was going to bring that up as well as we continue, was the Jets have to find a way to keep Bosa off of Sam. You cannot have this guy taking the game over and just absolutely having his way with our offensive linemen. I think a big part of that is going to be, seeing how Mekhi kind of reacts to having to go up against this guy. Mekhi's going to be tested this entire year. I thought he looked pretty solid against the Bills. He gave up a sack. I know he had a penalty, but for a guy that's had no preseason, for a rookie that has no preseason, and the practices were kind of, changed because of the situation that we're in right now, I thought he looked good. So this is going to be a real test as well because I know for a fact they're going to put Bosa on his side to kind of test him and see where he is and see if they can get away with stuff. So I think that's going to be a big key to us offensively. I also think running the ball effectively is going to be a big key as well to kind of keep the Niners keep the Niners honest. If you don't keep them honest, if they don't feel like, your running game is a threat, they're going to pin their ears back and absolutely try to decapitate Sam. And that's what I'm worried about the most is Gase going to keep his play calling balanced? I also wonder, is he going to keep his play balance? Is he going to keep his play calling unpredictable? If the play calling is predictable, this Niners defense will sniff it out. If you're coming out with more screens and more screens and more screens, they will know that they're coming. And they will know exactly where they're at because they'll know the sets, they'll know the calls, they'll know the plays, they'll know everything else. We have to be prepared for that. And that's big. I think big thing for us is to strike first. Try to put up some points early. Try to get that first drive going. Don't let these, don't kick around and just sit around and not get things done offensively. Coming out and constantly having 3 and outs or, run, punt or run, sack, run, punt. It's not going to work against this team. Like, it's just not going to work.
I know.
You have to get it together and you have to go out there and try to bring it to the Niners because, like you said, they're traveling to us. You know what I'm saying? There's some things we could take advantage of. And, again, this is a banged-up team, and there's no reason why we should come out uncompetitive. But I want to go back to this offense with you, though, Steve, because you're bringing the fire right now, and your takes are great. I'm looking at the situation, and I'm saying to myself, is Herndon a guy that you think will have big-time impact in this game? How many targets do you think he gets? How many catches do you think he gets in this game because of the offensive injuries that we have?
He's got to get at least, I would say maybe 15 to 20 targets, and I'm hoping between 14 to 17 catches. It's just
wow.
It's
okay.
just the thing. The thing is, Joe, this especially with the fact that we're injured at the wide receiver position. Listen, Sam and Herndon have to have that connection that they did back in 2018, both of their rookie seasons. I mean, listen. They got to have that connection tomorrow because the thing is, listen, which wide receiver is going to step up tomorrow? Is it going to be Berrios? Is it going to be Perriman? Is it going to be Malone? I don't know. Someone in this game has to have a step up. So, and listen, and let me tell you something. I know that this team is probably fed up from last Sunday of what happened to them. And listen, we've seen in the past before when Sam has had a bad game before and the week after he comes right back and puts on a solid performance. I mean, the thing is, Joe, also too is about this game is that honestly, I think this game is going to really, really, really turn out to be, it comes down to the defenses and whoever makes the biggest mistakes. I think that is going to be the key thing. Now, the only thing is that going about in this game is that the biggest thing is what's going to happen is What we got to protect Sam. We got to protect Sam. Listen,
Yeah.
I know the San Francisco front D is tough, but you got to protect Sam. And if we can get a good running game, 'cause listen, last week I did watch in the game. San Francisco did have some good moments on the defensive side of the ball, but there were at times where the Arizona offensive line actually gave, Kenyon Drake and their backup room last week. That's what we got to do against San Francisco. Like, we got to tire their defense out. Like, we got to win time possession. And if we can do that, we can get the W.
Yeah. Look, Steve, you're bringing it. I hear you. My next question for you, though, is what are you expecting from Marcus May in this game?
Marcus May's got to have the game that he did last Sunday against Buffalo because the thing was, listen, the defense has to show up to it in the first half. Like, listen, they played better in the second half last week, but you got to show up in the first half. The only two players that showed up last week in the first half was Marcus May and Bless Austin. That was it. And I mean, it's just that my worst fear is that if Pierre Desir is going to start tomorrow, he's got to have a bounce back game. Because listen, I know for a fact that Greg Williams, when he sent him that message about benching him, Pierre Desir realizes that he's got to do better. He's got to do better. But if I had to say,
and that's exactly what I'm thinking, Steve. Like you said, I'm looking at the situation like this. Marcus May, I'm looking to see him continue to, blossom and continue to show everybody what I've been talking about for years with him, is that he has the ability. He's going out there. He's been put in the scheme by Greg Williams to really be able to roam and make plays from that strong safety position. He's being moved around now, and his coverage is solid. So I'm hoping that he does have the same game and has a big-time impact. But I was a little bit worried about our secondary. Not necessarily Bless Austin. I think he played it very well last game. But Pierre Desir's got to step up, and you hit the nail on the head. That guy getting benched in his first game here is not a good sign. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good sign, but I need to see him have a bounce-back game and really step up, especially with this Niner team that's banged up. I'm pretty sure he's one of the guys that they're going to absolutely test with whoever they have out there as weapons. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be Ayuk or any of the other guys they have in that wide receiver core, they're definitely going to target Desir. So we're going to see what he's got as well.
Yeah, it's just now the thing is, for my final prediction of this game, which is this, unfortunately, Joe, I always like to say a W, but unfortunately, I kind of unfortunately, listen, and I hope I am wrong tomorrow, but I do see the Jets losing this game to San Francisco, and I'm going to predict that San Francisco will beat us tomorrow 24-10.
Ooh, 24-10, San Francisco. Okay, Steve.
I
respect it.
Joe, listen. I hope I am wrong tomorrow. But unfortunately, it's just San Francisco. Even though yes, they are traveling to the East Coast, and yes, it's a time zone difference. But the thing is, San Francisco, and even despite the fact that they have the injuries, to me, they are still the better team, unfortunately.
Yeah. Look, Steve, I hear you. I hear your take. I'm going to give my prediction a little bit later on in the show, but I understand. We're banged up. There's a lot of issues, particularly coaching-wise in this team, and this offense has yet to show that it can get on pace. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the year we had last year, and then this, the last game looking the exact way as we did last year offensively. It's just not a good look. So, with all that said, Steve, man, I want to thank you for calling in, man. You have a good night.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. Bye-bye.
Steve with a fire call. A fire call, guys. I mean, he called in and he dropped his takes. He's expecting big things from Herndon. 17 catches. I was a little shocked myself, but hey, maybe it happens. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Maybe it happens. Maybe Herndon, gets a bunch of catches in the game and really is able to impact the game. Impact the game the way we all believe that he should. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. But we're going to go to the chat really quickly. Again, I am live streaming Twitch, YouTube, and various other platforms. So for those of you that are listening to me on Blog Talk, I go back and forth with everyone in the chat here. So I'm going to go to the chat really, really quickly. And TJ Decker Shout out to you, TJ. He says, hey, Joe, I understand Sam had a bad game, but I think it's a little soon to call him a bust like everyone else does. Look at the weapons Baker has, and he isn't exactly killing it. You know what, TJ? I'm right there with you as well. I'm looking at the situation with Sam, and I'm saying to myself, some Jets fans are super quick to call him a bust. They're already trying to throw him away for various other quarterbacks or other options that we have, and I'm saying to myself, look, you've given this kid no protection, you've given him no weapons, and you've given him horrific coaching. What do you expect? You've got to better, what's around him, because we've seen flashes out of Sam. He looked better in the offense we had before Gase. He looked better. He looked like a better quarterback. We just knew that we needed to take the steps to get him a better offensive mind, than Jeremy Bates. We needed to move forward, get him a better offensive mind, get some weapons around him, because that was the issue there as well. And we all said to ourselves, he's going to be a better player. But when you put him in this situation where you have guys like Perriman, Hogan, Gore and Balaj are the guys he's throwing to, guys he's got to work with. The offensive line, we're still trying to figure out where that's going to be. It's like, come on, man. You can't do that and expect him to just, transcend or ascend all of that stuff and just raise the team, not with the talent that you have around him. You've got to do better. Phoenix Flight, shout out to you, Phoenix Flight, also says in the chat, bruh, Sam is going to break something. Look, he's going to break something if we don't protect him. I will tell you that. And that's one of my keys to the game. We're going to be talking about that all night long is, can we keep Sam protected? Can we make sure that Sam isn't going to deal with having guys in his face all day? We've got to make sure that we can keep a decent pocket around Sam and allow him to make plays, because if he's running for his life, like he was last year as well, we're not going to see much. We're going to see him just trying to do anything just to get the ball away. And I don't think that's not how you help a young quarterback. You've got to put him in a position to be able to be comfortable and make plays. I'm going back to the chat again. Randy Y'all says, pass rush versus no pass rush. That's going to be the difference. Absolutely it is. That's going to be the difference, Randy. You look at this situation. We've got to find some way to get pressure on Garoppolo. We have to. I know a lot of people are also calling Quinnen Williams out. There's already some people, that I've seen at various social media platforms yelling about Quinnen Williams, saying, hey, this guy looks like he might be a bust. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I've seen other people say it. So, Quinnen Williams has definitely got to get after it. I don't expect him to give us 16 sacks a season, but I do expect him to push the pocket. I do expect him to, get in the backfield and really crush the running game, against the opposing teams. I'm really looking to see him continue, to make more of an impact than he has recently. So that's what I want to see. And hopefully we see some stuff out of Jordan Jenkins as well, too. I know it wasn't, a ton of snaps for him last game, but I want to see more out of him, coming forth, because that's a guy that kind of showed us throughout time that he was maybe a guy that could give us a little bit of pass rush. Henry Anderson as well, too. We need to see more out of him. So we'll see what we got going forward. But this Niners game is going to be real tough, because this is a tough team that we have coming in. So now I'm going to step away from the chat. I'm going to get back to the callers here. My callers are lighting up. So we're going to go to 619-619. State your name and let me know, how you feel about this Niners game versus the Jets.
XRP from the chats.
What's going on, XRP? How's it going, man? Thank you for calling in.
And hey, this is my first time calling in. I appreciate you putting on this for your fans, man. This is how I feel, man. I think Gase is out to prove everybody wrong. That's why I believe Bell not playing tomorrow. He's going to have LaMichael P. Ryan and yours truly, Gore, running that ball. I think what he's going to try to show everybody is, look, we don't need Bell. You overpaid for him. And he's just really going to try to show that, hey, Sam Darnold, we need to run this offense through our rookie offensive lineman. What's his name? Beckley. If we could do that, I think just with the whole ground and pound theme, I really think we can keep the statue of a quarterback for the 49ers on the sidelines for a bit.
Well, first off, again, I want to thank you for calling in, bro, and it's good to hear from you. I look at this situation, and I hear what you're saying, because we've seen in the past, Adam Gase kind of do things to prove that, hey, I don't want Bell. But Bell is dealing with an injury right now. So that's really, I think, the sole reason why he's going to be on the sidelines, because he's, dealing with that hammy. We'll see when he comes back. It's supposed to be at least, I think, 3 weeks, but, hamstring injuries linger. So I think when you look at this situation, I want to see us run the ball? Absolutely, because like you said, finding ways to keep that other offense, off the field, dominating the time of possession, moving the chain, stuff like that can be accomplished running the football. And I think that would really help, not just because, it would open up holes and our running backs can get going, because we have guys, P. Ryan and all these guys that can kind of scoot, but it would also help Sam as well in the passing game. It would definitely help Sam in the passing game, because you could bang things around and open things up for Sam, especially with their secondary being banged up the way it is. No Sherman. They're also doing Jason Verrett is going to be out as well. So those are two guys that kind of, move around and do things in their secondary. So we've got to, try to take advantage of that. I mean, when you look at the situation with their secondary banged up the way it is, bruh, do you think that we should take some deep shots just to test them?
Oh, no, man. No, sir. Not right off the top. I say you got to set up that you got to hit them with the run, and then set up the play action, and then roll them out with bootlegs. Roll them out. Yeah. And now we got the 2 tight ends. Man, I'm thinking Gronkowski and from New England. What was his name? Hernandez. We got that combination between them two. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you.
I hear you. I mean, those are lofty names. Gronkowski, that's lofty, but I hear what you're saying. We do have 2 tight ends that can catch the football.
They're very capable.
Herndon's definitely got to. Yeah, they're capable. They have hands. They can catch, but Herndon's got to kind of turn it up a bit. I'm looking to see more out of him in this game, because again, with the offensive injuries that we have on this game, he should be a guy that should get targets. I know there's a lot of callers. Steve expected a lot of targets to go his way and for him to have a lot of catches.
Yeah.
So, I do expect us to utilize the tight end, in this game coming up. But I want to ask you another question. This team was heavily penalized in the last game. Are you concerned that penalties will be an issue in this game as well?
Yeah, man. I didn't notice too many false starts, but definitely the rookie, I think he was penalized once or twice or something. It's not too bad. I mean, he's a rook, and you kind of covered that earlier. Without us having a off season the way a normal NFL off season would have been, with your training camp, mini camp, and everything, to kind of condition these guys to gel better. I'm expecting that for at least the next 2 games, kind of knock that rust off. But after that, we need to be firing on all cylinders. This whole thing, I mean, everybody, I think we all know what side of the fence we stand on with the Gase thing. But the bottom line is he's here now. He clearly got the vote of confidence from Chris Johnson. So it's a matter of, okay, you want to show the world that you're the mastermind, this quarterback whisperer. Ain't no better time to do it. You got your boy Frank Gore, and we got the new rookie, man, that is absolutely capable. So let's get the tight ends in the mix. Absolutely, you want to control the line of scrimmage. And going back to your point of the flags, man, we gotta get that under control, man. I mean, we're not seeing too many flags on the defensive side of the ball, which I think is pretty good. It's still 1 game in, but man, we need to turn it up. It can't. The offense really needs to hold their own. And Darnold, he needs to know when to either throw the ball away or, hey, after that, your first and second option, they're not there. Hey, man, run it out. Run it for 2, 3 yards, 5 yards, whatever. Get positive momentum. Always moving the ball.
Yeah, and look, I'm right there with you. I want to see him, play better than he did last week, but I think a big part of that is protection, especially when you're looking at this game coming in. Yes, the Niners are without D Ford, but they still got that boy named Bosa. And, I mean, that dude he's just destruction. Everything about him is just destruction. He is so disruptive to everything that we have, and that's going to be my question to you is, what do you think the game plan will be to kind of keep Nick Bosa off of Sam Darnold? I mean, do you think Mekhi Becton alone will be able to stop that, or do you think they'll put a tight end over there to help?
Yeah.
You know, how do you think that will work?
No. Yeah, they're gonna try to stunt Mekhi Becton. He's a rookie. He got to cut his teeth, right? But I think Mekhi Becton, man, when this is all said and done, he has the potential to be one of the all-time greats. Because you can't coach size, and you can't coach, you know, just his acumen working on the offensive line, you know. Now, I will say that he is pretty quick on his feet for a dude 6 foot, 10. Dude's like 6'7" or whatever it is. So I really think, man, if he can, if Bosa, you know, his finesse moves or, you know, any of that kind of eats him up, all he has to really do is just keep the dude in front of him. And worst case scenario, Bosa starts twisting and turning, pancake his ass. And guess what? The rest of that offensive line needs to be stepping up. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know,
yeah.
man.
No, look, I'm right there.
My answers are pretty
I'm
easy and sweet.
No, and again, I want to thank you for calling in. Listen, I'm right there with you. Like, you know, we've got to find whatever way that you can to protect Sam. But like you said, Mekhi Becton, I think he has some traits, you know, where he can be a very good tackle in this league. We're still seeing, you know, where he's going to be, where he's going, still trying to fill him out. But he looks good to me. But again, he's going to be tested. So I'm looking to see how Gase makes the adjustments for that. And I'm hoping to see Gase utilize a tight end over there, help chip, maybe even a back, you know, coming out the backfield to kind of help bump before he goes out for a route, stuff like that. I hope he does not try to leave Mekhi on an island alone with Nick Bosa. I'm just hoping that he does not do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really hoping that he can make offensive adjustments. Yeah, interrupt that timing, exactly, and make offensive adjustments. And so that's what I'm hoping. I want to go to the defense with you, though, as well, because there's a lot of people that I'm seeing, various social media, timeline, stuff like that are really starting to put a little bit of pressure on Quinnen Williams, saying, hey, we expected more out this guy. I want to see more out this guy. What's going on? What are your thoughts on Quinnen and his production so far? And do you think that there should be more pressure on him to do more?
I mean, I would say we gotta look back at the pedigree, right? He's coming from Alabama, right? So just with that alone, the expectations are high, right? Now, he's lost some weight, you know what I'm saying? He's been in our system for what? He was a rookie last year, so this is his second year. Although, again, the whole COVID kind of threw a wrench in everything. But if he was doing his due diligence in the offseason and getting together with the group of not pass rushers, but the D linemen, right? You know, everybody gets together to do their off-season work. Then right now is the time for my man to start getting the sacks, start, you know, disrupting, you know, the timing on the quarterback. You know, he needs to really step up because we drafted him. What was it? Was it 6 or in the first round last year?
Yeah, it was like third overall.
Yeah, third overall, man. That's a slam dunk. Like, we should not even be having these conversations about Quinnen Williams at this stage, but we are. So if we are, my man Quinnen Williams, are you out there? Please don't bring your gun to the game. Leave that at home. Let's focus on the game. Let's really do what you are paid to do. You're a professional, right? I mean, that's my message to him. You know. Straight up.
Yeah, look, I hear you. I hear you. Like I said, there's a lot of people that are definitely putting a lot of pressure on, you know, Quinnen. I'm just looking to see him push the pocket. I never thought he was going to be a guy that was going to come in and give us a ton of sacks. But, you know, we'll see what he does going forward because, you know, I just want to see him be disruptive. I want to see him go out there, a lot of tackles for loss, stuff like that. But sticking with the defense, how concerned are you about our linebacker position against these running backs that they have? Because guys like Coleman that they have over there at the Niners, these guys are versatile. They can catch the ball coming out the backfield, and they can really get going. So I want to get your thoughts on that, and how do you think our linebackers will be tested there?
Man, well, I mean, I really hope our outside linebackers are up to the test, you know, to running after these guys because, like you said, the Mozart and the Colemans of the world. I mean, they're gonna try to run what we should have been running the whole time with Bell. Dumping the ball out to the flat. Right out of the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Like running your running back to catch the ball out of the backfield and stuff. So I'm really hoping our linebackers, up for the task. What we got? Is Cashin? Is he playing in the game?
No,
he's got an injury.
We're still yeah, he's dealing with the injury right now. So I know they just brought up Ogletree. He's been signed to the active roster today. You got Neville Hewitt. So those guys. Yeah, Catherine is not happening.
I mean, up the middle, I think our inside middle linebackers and stuff. These guys should be able to hold up. I'm concerned about our outside linebackers. Yeah.
So what are you expecting from Jordan Jenkins? Because I know a lot of people were looking at him saying, hey, coming into this season, you're going to be the guy that's going to push the pocket. I mean, are you surprised that we haven't seen, more out of him so far?
Yeah. Especially with May coming down now, kind of playing the role of Jamal Adams a little bit. I think he's been doing really good, but I know you're going to get to that in a little bit. I definitely think, though, that with May, kind of spying, I mean, that should free up Jenkins to kind of, hey, get his nose dirty and get in there and get those sacks and get that disruption, disrupt the timing, I mean, you're talking about Quentin Williams. I mean, we're talking about a pretty decent front seven, man. No slouches up front. But we got to get it done. And I think a lot has to come with the continuity again,
Yeah, look, I hear you. I mean, I'm a little concerned, particularly, that inside linebacker spot, because the Niners, and I know Kittle's out, which is like, whew, because that guy is something else. He's, if not the best tight end in the game, I know some people consider him the best tight end in the game. He clearly is one of them, if you don't consider him the best. But, with him being out, that's a breather. Them also, Deebo Samuel being out for them as well. Ayuk dealing with that hamstring injury. So there's some things that we could take advantage of. But I'm just a little worried because those backs coming out the backfield, also their running game, they're savage. I mean, their running game is extremely physical. Some of the things they do as well. So I'm a little worried about that, and that's kind of what has me a little bit worried.
You're breaking up on me.
I'm sorry, folks. Blog Talk clearly is having some issues right now. I apologize about that. If you called in 515-602-9639, I apologize about that. Blog Talk is tripping right now and just crashed because all the callers were on. Blog Talk still being Blog Talk, I guess. So we're going to get back to the callers. Bruh, we're going right back to you, man. Go ahead and keep kicking what you were saying with your takes.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I tried to call.
Thank you for calling back in, bro. It's Blog Talk, man. All the callers that were in the line, please call back in. Blog Talk just crashes, big-time issues. This Blog Talk is crazy. But go ahead. I was talking to you about Marcus May. I was telling you, hey, listen, I was expecting, big things out of him coming into this game as well. He played very well against the Bills. And I want to get your thoughts on what you're expecting out of him in this game coming in. How do you think he'll be able to attack the Niners?
I still say having close up to the line of scrimmage a little bit, kind of roaming around, man, because I think this is the perfect opportunity to really get his stat line up with the sacks. Because again, my reference earlier, their quarterback is a statue, man. He's not really known for escaping the pocket and running. So we got that, kind of that's like a 12th defender right there, really. because he's going to look to kind of, march the ball up the field. So if we can, with Quinnen Williams, collapse the middle of the pocket there and then get May to kind of run off on, to the sides or whatever. I mean, I really think, and then with Jenkins, hopefully, I mean, this is a coming out party for our defense, man.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a lot to attack on. Like you said, I agree with your take there. I'm looking to see, how it's going to be handled, how May's going to be utilized and used in this game. Is he going to be brought up to the line to blitz quite a bit because, you want to get after Garoppolo and put some pressure on him? Or are they going to kind of put him back, because, again, Pierre Desir, that's a guy that, a lot of people are looking at and they're saying, like, oh, my goodness, you are terrible. You know what I'm saying? You are horrific, my guy. Like, what exactly happened with you? We brought you in to kind of step up and be the guy, and you look absolutely terrible.
He got benched last week, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He sure did get benched, and his ass deserved it because he was looking awful out there. You know what I'm saying? You looking awful out there and not getting the job done. We all know for a fact that Greg Williams is going to pull you. So, I'm looking to see how May is going to be utilized. Yeah. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't play like that whatsoever. If you don't get it done, Greg Williams is absolutely going to get rid of you, point blank, period. So, my final question for you is going to be, man, give me your final score and your prediction for this game against the 49ers.
I think if everything we spoke about tonight, if the Jets can get the run game going, if we can utilize our tight ends, kind of get motion on the around the line of scrimmage, man, if we can kind of motion out some of our wide receivers and just kind of get Darnold moving around the pocket, bootlegs and stuff like that early on in the game, I think it's going to be an ugly fought game because it's going to be very defensive. But I think it can be tight, man. It could be 14-17 Jets.
14-17 Jets.
Yeah. I mean, again, with our run game, I really think between the 1-2 punch between Gore and Pirine, I think that the Jets can keep Garoppolo on the sidelines, man. I really do. Mm-hmm. Now, it's all about exposing whoever makes the most errors in the game. Obviously, that I think that's where the game's going to come down to. 14-17, 20-17, around there.
Okay. And before I let you go, I just want to ask you this last one. How concerned are you about the team coming out lifeless and lethargic?
Oh, man. See, that's the thing, man. But, again, I got to go back to Gase. He supposedly knows something that all of us don't know, apparently, because he's gotten, he's clearly gotten the keys to the city as far as the Johnsons are concerned, right, with the ownership coming out and giving his blessing to him. So this going to be the game right here where if Gase knows something we don't know, he's going to pull some trick out of the hat and say, hey, look, I told you we should have done this with the players. We don't need Bell. This is going to be the game for him to prove, that he knows what the heck he's doing. Because we're going up against a great defense. We're going up against a pretty decent quarterback that's not a slouch. So, Mr. Gase, come on out, man. Show us what you got.
Yeah. Hey, look, bruh, you called in and you brought the fire. I apologize. I apologize to all the callers. I just lost. Blog Talk crashed again. I want to thank you for calling in, man. And when I stream next time and when I have the show, I look to hear from you more in the future, my man.
For sure, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man. Go Jets.
Absolutely. Go Jets. You have a good night.
You too.
And bruh called in with a hot call. Again, I want to apologize to all the callers. I just lost. Blog Talk is tripping as usual. You know what I'm saying? Blog Talk is just something else. I'm going to go to the chat right now. Going to the chat, Charles B in the chat, shout out to you, Charles B, says, Darnold's going to have to get the ball out quick and utilize Herndon because that 49ers pass rush is coming. You speak the absolute truth, Charles. You're speaking the absolute truth. they've got to find a way to get the ball out of Darnold's hands quickly, because I think sitting back there and just, watching, plays develop or long developing plays is just not going to happen. This Niners defense is ferocious, and we keep talking about him, but I'll tell you, that Bosa boy is something else. He ain't no joke, man. He ain't no joke. He will get after it, and he'll change the day. Okay? You don't account for him. I'm telling you, he's going to change the day on you, and you'll be looking crazy, and your quarterback will absolutely be feeling pains. It'll be bruised up and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I completely agree with you, Charles. They have to get the ball out of Darnold's hands quick, although every so often I want to see them take a deep shot just to keep the Niners defense honest, and also with the Niners secondary being banged up, with them not having Sherman and Verrett also dealing with the injury as well and being out. I want to see them test the Niners maybe once or twice, maybe pair them in on a bomb here or there just to let them know that, look, we'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too comfortable, because we will do it. So I'm going to keep going back to the chat right now. TJ Decker says, damn, Joe got the hotline. I'm telling you. Lines blazing, so blazing it burned down Blog Talk. You know what I'm saying? So blazing it burned down Blog Talk. Man, come on, Blog Talk. You got to step up. You know what I'm saying? You got to step up. The Angry Buffalo Sports fan, shout out to you, says, last season the Jets won games that people counted them out. And with the Niners traveling to the East Coast, I feel like this is going to be one of those games. Some people are saying that, hey, we have more of a chance against the Niners than a lot of other people think. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of questions to be answered, especially when you're looking at this situation about the offense, how bad it's been, the coaching, how bad it's been, the lack of offensive weapons, how bad they look too. It's like, you got to find a way. You absolutely got to find a way. Randy Yaw says, if the Jets score more than 6 points this week, I'd be shocked. I'm not even kidding. Wow. Randy coming with some heat. You know what I'm saying? Randy coming with the heat right now. I'm going to get back to the chat, but I'm going to continue to talk about this football team here. And I wanted to kind of touch on the comments by Chris Johnson calling Adam Gase a brilliant offensive mind. Listen, I know people were extremely upset about that. I was, definitely stunned myself. The issues that we've had here, particularly with our franchise, why we've been losers, if you trace a lot of it back, it goes directly to ownership. A lot of the decisions that have been made, a lot of the bad decisions that have been made, a lot of just the nonsense that goes on goes directly back to the ownership, and the Johnsons not exactly knowing what they're doing. And so when you have somebody like Chris Johnson, a guy who's running the team right now, sit down and tell people that he thinks that Gase is a brilliant offensive mind, starts to make you wonder how. If you look at the stats, if you look at any measurable at all, whether it be stats, whether it be the eye test, you watch the film, you watch what he does on the field, there's no way you could be saying those things. There's no way. There's no way that you could sit in front of any other fan and tell them, or anybody, not even fan, media, anybody, and tell them that Gase is an offensive genius. The offense was dead last year. It was terrible. The play calling was horrific. The game plans were beyond questionable. Just the in-game, or the lack, of in-game adjustments was jarring. It's like, how exactly do you say that this guy is a brilliant offensive mind? I mean, you look at some of the weapons, or the weapon that we had, Le'Veon Bell, you look how he utilized him. He didn't utilize him at all. Le'Veon came to us as one of the better backs in the NFL, one of the best. And he came here and had career lows in basically every statistical category that he's ever had. It was completely crazy. So when you look at a guy that you're calling a brilliant offensive mind that can't adjust his scheme to fit players, that he has on his roster, he can't effectively utilize offensive personnel. He can't seem to understand how to make adjustments in game, or hell, before a game at all. And he can't understand, how to change things from half to half. You're done. Brilliant offensive minds, they don't deal with those things. Brilliant offensive mind, your Andy Reids, your Doug Petersons, your Sean Payton, so on and so forth. Those guys make adjustments throughout a game, period. I know we all dislike the Patriots quite a bit. I'm a Patriot hater myself, but I'll tell you what, the reason why the Patriots have been so successful throughout their entire, dynasty, the things that they ran within these last couple of years, the Super Bowls, the playoff runs, all that stuff, is their adjustments. They adjust. They come out in the first quarter. and they look a certain way. They come out in the second quarter, they look completely different. They come out after the half, you don't even know if you're playing the same team. You come out in the fourth quarter and they put you away. That's how it works. And they adjust. If you cannot make adjustments in the NFL, you're dead. You're going to die. That's it. Not being able to make adjustments in the NFL is death, point blank, period. Good teams adjust. Bad teams just sit back and lose. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how it wins. That's kind of how it goes there. And if you can't get it together, then it is what it is. I also know that there's a lot of pressure on Sam Darnold as well. A lot of people are looking to get rid of Sam, and I really want to address this because I've been getting hit up a lot, whether it be, on my timeline, whether it be in my DMs or, even, there was people in the chat as well. The last call, listen, Sam Darnold, when you put more around him, he will be better. You can't expect him to overcome some of the things that we've seen, some of the things we're seeing right now, the lack of protection, the bad coaching, the lack of weapons. You can't expect him to overcome that every single play, every single week against every single team, especially when we're playing teams that are talented. Some of the teams that we have, on our schedule coming up, these are real teams that are coming up and showing out, and they're ready to go. So you got to put him in a better surrounding cast. If the Jets were to get a high pick, I'm a guy that's already thinking you use that high pick, you utilize it to get more weapons. You can trade down, collect more picks, get more weapons in there, and then you surround Sam Darnold with those weapons. You don't, look to move on from Sam Darnold in the draft coming up. I would not do that. So that's going to be my answer to that. But going back to this game, I'm going to give you guys my final prediction for the game. I'm looking at this game, and I'm saying to myself, starting with the Jets offense, I'm a little worried. I'm worried that they're going to come out slow, lethargic, that they're not going to be able to put things together early. I'm a little worried about this Niners defense getting after, Darnold. Man, let me tell you something. Bosa, if he takes over this game, it's going to be a long day. But it's just not Bosa on that team as well. They got other guys, man. They got guys that can get after it. Like I said, Armstead is a guy that can get after it. I know, D Ford is going to be a guy that's not going to be playing, but they also got a Thomas as well at that tackle position. He's a guy that can move stuff. Kinlaw, Jones, all these guys that they have that can absolutely, push the pocket and really get after you and get in your face. They're extremely physical too, up front. So I'm a little worried about that. I'm worried about the pass rush, really getting after Darnold, banging him around and really starting to, make him jittery and erratic. Defensively, I'm wondering how we test the Niners. I'm worried about our linebacking core a bit. Wondering if they can get after Garoppolo, the way that I think that they can. I'm a little concerned because they have some backs that can come out the backfield and catch the football. I talked about Coleman. We talked about Mostert as well. So those are guys that are versatile. With no Kittle, I think we'll be okay there. I'm looking to see Marcus May really do his thing, looking to see Quentin Williams do his thing. I know Harvey Langley, Neville Hewitt, are going to be guys that are definitely going to be playing that middle linebacker as well. So we're going to see what's going on. I also want to see how they test Bless Austin. I expect the Niners to kind of go after him too. And I want to see a bounce-back game from Pierre Desir. I do not want to see that guy play like he did last week. That was completely terrible. You know what I'm saying? So with all that said, the Jets home game, I am taking the Niners. I'm taking the Niners to beat the Jets 27-14. 27-14, I am taking the Niners. I think the Jets get, 2 touchdowns late. I think they take it. Come on, people. There's no need to get after me. I'm just trying to, tell what I know. I mean, there's no need to attack. Come on. I said there's no need to attack me. All right. I'm just trying my best. Okay. I'm already dealing with the nonsense that is blog talk. I'm just trying here. All right. I'm just giving you my honest answer about how I feel, about this Jets team right now in the offense and what they're putting on the field. So just please, all right, we get it. All right, we get it, people. There's no need for you to keep attacking me. Okay, so like I said, I'm saying the Niners win, and that kind of is what it is. So I want to thank you folks for watching. I want to thank you folks for listening. Listen. It is my time, okay? Listen, I'm the man of the people. I am here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, Search Long Beach Joe. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about you folks think we do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well. You can catch me on Twitter at YoungJ000. That's 3 zeros. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge. I'm also on Twitter as well at the Long Beach Joe. You can catch my show on there as well. And as always, people, when you see me in person, okay, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone, okay? The hugs are absolutely free. They will cost you absolutely nothing. They will always remain free as well. So I want to thank you folks for listening. You folks have a good one. Goodbye.